Yes, thank you, Michelle. Well, football can change a city, it can inspire a town. This is the sport of the people, and the people of Sunderland and the people of High Wycombe are out in force today. Wembley, the dream maker, the heartbreaker, throws its doors open again to host English football's greatest creation, the playoff finals. And backstage, Alex Neil and Gareth Ainsworth are ready to lead their teams out into the greatest stadium of all. The fans are making plenty of noise outside, and these two are about to walk into that wall of noise. Up for grabs, a place in the championship. The steely look of Alex Neil. He's been down this road before. He's been a winner walking down this road before, as has Gareth Ainsworth, who is waiting patiently to lead his team out here. Who was the guilty party? Tafazzoli? I think it was. Probably filming something on his YouTube channel. But here we go. Listen to this Wembley roar. Both teams walk into the greatest theatre of all. It's a walk into the unknown. But what is known is that one of these players will write their name into the history of their club. Immortality awaits. A red carpet occasion at the home of football. But the Blues are here too. The presentation party, led by Conor Grant, Chief Executive Officer of Flutter UK, Paul Farmer, CEO of Mind, and Trevor Birch, the Chief Executive of the EFL. And this is where, Andy, those nerves will be jangling right now.
Absolutely, the coaches have talked about it, the fans will know all about it. It's coping with this situation. We know these teams are really evenly matched, just a point separated them at the end of the regular season. We know it's going to be a tight game, but coping with this extraordinary atmosphere is what the playoff final is all about.
$46,000 Sunderland fans are here. Just over 22,000 have come down from High Wycombe. And it's time to make this place sing again. The national anthem will be sung by Janelle Martin. It will be signed by Ben Bridger.
Please stand if you're able for the national anthem sung by Janelle Martin alongside British Sign Language interpreter Ben Bridger.
Incredible noise inside Wembley Stadium. The noise that the playoffs bring. Well, let's take a check on the teams for you. And Elliot Embleton, who won the League One final with Blackpool a year ago, now starts a League One playoff final for his beloved Sunderland. He was a season ticket holder from the age of 9. He replaces Jack Clark in the only change from the semi-final win over Sheffield Wednesday. Ross Stewart has written his name all over this season with 25 goals, including 4 against Wycombe. It looks like Alex Neil is going to stick with the same system that served them so well in the semi-final. It means that Nathan Broadhead, their second leading scorer with 13 goals, is on a very attacking bench. Well, Gareth Ainsworth sticks with the team, which got the better of MK Dons in their semi-final. Sam Vokes has been an inspirational signing from Stoke. He's hit 17 goals so far. To capture his signature in the first place was quite a feat. To now keep him for another year is a coup, but he loves it at Adams Park. Gareth McCleary has played a big part in Wycombe's season. He's capable of causing Sunderland big problems today. Josh Gowen's move to Sunderland didn't quite work out. He's now back at Wycombe. Adebayo Akinfenwa says goodbye to professional football today. He's on the bench looking for another Wembley win before he walks off into the sunset. So Andy, plenty out there have been here before. How important is that on a day like today?
Absolutely vital. Joe Jacobson has been here and done it with Wycombe before. He scored and assisted in their 2020 triumph. He's deadly from set plays and he's part of a miserly Wycombe defence. So can Sunderland break down this tight-knit band of brothers? And the Sunderland fans will be hoping that Alex Neil is their playoff lucky charm. He's got the job done in England and Scotland. He's won playoff finals with Hamilton and Norwich. And the way he's reinvigorated Sunderland, a third success looks highly likely.
Well, the suit has gone down to business now for Alex Neil. Who knows the way to the winner's podium here, as does Gareth Ainsworth, who's still got the lucky braid in there somewhere. And from the most famous football pitch on the planet, the message from English football to Ukraine is that our thoughts, love and strength are with you. So it's the League One walk of jeopardy first. Wycombe Wanderers, a story for the dreamers. The words defying the odds are stitched into the fabric of the club. They are a club which loves to stand amongst giants. They look to bring one down today. Sunderland, a colossus of a club trapped in League One. It's unthinkable that they ended up there. It's unthinkable that they are still there. But this could be the day that they finally escape.
League One playoff final, Sunderland and Wycombe Wanderers.
A reminder that VAR is in operation here today. The first time in a playoff final. The referee is Simon Hooper. It's Lee Mason who is in charge of VAR. So Wycombe Wanderers will get this League One playoff final underway, attacking the West End of Wembley, where the Sunderland fans are housed. And both teams united in their message: no discrimination against anyone. So Sunderland face the ghosts of playoffs past, looking to exorcise the demons of years gone by. But this is a new chapter. Will it have a different ending for them? For Wycombe, the playoffs don't hold any fears, and they are here to try and get another crack at the championship.
Yeah, it's two really evenly matched sides, both defensively strong, both very effective at playing in very different ways. But playoff finals, they're always pressurised. I think if there was a motto for the playoff finals, it's who copes wins. So it's about having a game plan, it's about having a calm head.
Joe Jacobson, who's had a calm head in the playoffs in the past. He struck the winner back in 2020 here against Oxford. Jacobson again. Bailey Wright with eyes on that. And the first free kick of the day goes the way of Sunderland.
It was quite a big call when we saw the team sheets. No Jack Clark starting the game. He was so effective in the semi-finals for Sunderland. So Alex Neil tactically has gone for Elliot Embleton. He looks as if he's going to play out on the left-hand side where Clark would normally play. So you get the sense that he's looking to keep it nice and solid, secure, keep the ball well, not give too much away, and then maybe off the bench with Clark and Broadhead and McGeady, they could possibly win it from there.
Stewart, that's Ross Stewart with eyes on it, but it was Anthony Stewart who met it for Wycombe. Patrick Roberts, hunted down by Jacobson. Wycombe do like to man-to-man mark across the pitch, and Jacobson has followed Roberts all the way inside from this near side. And Sunderland will look to try and move Wycombe players around to create space for others.
It is quite unusual. Having played left back for so many years, you really didn't want to get drawn infield. You had to stay in your natural position, but Joe Jacobson has to change.
Sunderland on the move here, and the referee has given the free kick. Now Sirkin stepped inside from his left back position. A free kick to Sunderland in a real position of promise.
Yeah, it's a positive start, full-back driving forward. And he gets slightly knocked off balance. As McCarthy just leans on him there. I think that's what the free kick is actually given for, not anything that happens after that, but a golden chance for Sunderland to get a shot away, put pressure on.
Pritchard and Embleton, two players who can hit them, are standing over this.
Yeah, from this position, you'd normally back the right footer just to whip the ball over the wall. And Stockdale maybe just protecting the other side of the goal. If you whip it with your right foot, it's always moving away from the goalkeeper. But of course, you've got to beat the wall, got to keep it on target. It's not easy. You've got a huge atmosphere, you're pumped up. Can you control this free kick?
What do they have up their sleeve here? It's Pritchard who ripples the outside of the net, and this side of Wembley thought that was in. They can't believe it.
Well, the way it starts, the way he sets it off, it's on target. It looks a goal all the way, but it just at the end just drifts away. If it's on target, Stockdale is not getting there. So close to an opening goal for Sunderland. That would have been a dream start for them.
I think some are still celebrating down below us, but that's how close it was, and certainly from our angle on this side of the pitch, you can fully understand why the Sunderland fans thought that was in. Away by Danny Bart. There's Stewart. Chance for Roberts to run. Roberts has got past his man as Tafazoli stepped out. And Jacobson was there backing him up. There's Lyndon Gooch playing in this right-back role again today. In by Pritchard, and that could have been awkward. It was awkward.
Well, Tafazoli actually makes it awkward for himself because the ball is at foot height. Just put your left foot through it. Why would you choose to try and head this ball away? You're just caught in disaster doing that. You just can't get a solid touch at the far post there. Ross Stewart, it's poor defending from Tafazoli. And maybe Wycombe and Tafazoli should have been punished. But just put your left foot, your instep, just clear that away. Don't go with your head in that position.
Hunting goal number 26 of what's been an incredible season for Ross Stewart. Sirkin in a battle. Anthony Stewart just holding off Ross Stewart so Tafazoli could take care of business.
Yeah, there's key one-on-one battles all over the pitch, but none more so than Patrick Roberts up against Joe Jacobson. We've seen that already. At times Roberts will drift infield, at times he'll maintain the width and look to take him on one-on-one. Whoever wins that battle could win the day.
Sunderland starting on the front foot here, driving Wycombe back, just as they did against Sheffield Wednesday in the semi-finals. Pritchard. That goes back to Stockdale. Sunderland fans applauding their former player John McPhail, who fell ill at Christmas and is still ill at the moment, and the Sunderland fans sending the message to their former captain John McPhail that you are in our hearts and we are thinking of you. He won 2 promotions with the club. McCarthy for Wycombe as they look to try and find their rhythm in this contest. McCleary's cross, and it's held by Patterson.
Yeah, Patterson had to come and deal with that, but that's classic Wycombe. Get the ball out wide, get a delivery into the box. Great switch of play from Scowen to get McCarthy moving forward. But the important thing is, eventually a cross comes into the box, but it's positive goalkeeping, takes all the pressure off his defenders.
Cool head there of Patterson. Jacobson winning that header above Roberts, who hit the deck. Here is Patrick Roberts. The dancing feet of Roberts, releasing Pritchard. Pritchard delivering the cross. And McCarthy taking evasive action.
Well, his run into space was impressive. The cross even more so. You see as Roberts drifts in field here, the intelligence, attacking intelligence of Pritchard to get into the space behind Jacobson. He has a look up and delivers a beauty of a cross as his teammates can't catch up with it.
Wycombe looking to stand their ground here, just as they did in the second leg against MK Dons to get here. But Sunderland trying to find a way through, and swept away by Anthony Stewart. These are big moments for both teams, you feel here. Gooch delivering the cross that time, but too much on it.
Yeah, it has been a very strong start from Sunderland. Alex Neil will be delighted. His team have got on the ball, they pushed up the pitch, they put Wycombe under a lot of pressure. You've got to work very hard to create opportunities, then you've got to be clinical, because Wycombe are more than happy to say, you come on to us, you try and break us down. They have a joy in defending, being brave, and then they can get back up the pitch and pinch a goal. So probably the start we maybe would have expected with Sunderland coming on strong.
Just seen Gareth Ainsworth's lucky braids there. He's a manager who makes players want to play for him, and he'll admit that that is his big strength, Gareth Ainsworth. His communication, his ability to motivate his team. And they have another shot at getting into the championship here.
He's done an extraordinary job. He always does an extraordinary job. The culture he's created at Wycombe. The interview that we heard pre-match, it doesn't come overnight. It doesn't happen in one season. It takes application and hard work and players buying into it, and he can get the very best out of any player that plays for him.
He admits that a few years ago he thought that Wycombe would never have a chance of getting to the championship, but of course they did last season, and they missed out on survival by just 1 point, and that is why there hasn't been a hangover this season. There was plenty of pride in what they did in the last campaign, and there hasn't been a losing mentality to turn around, which is what you can't find at many clubs when they're relegated. Stewart linking up with Roberts. Roberts trying to drive at the heart of Wycombe. Pritchard. Second on the outside, and Stockdale had to deal with it.
Yeah, how many times do you see that, whether it's a fullback or a wide midfielder whipping a ball in and it just dropping over a goalkeeper's head? Well, that's clearly an intended cross. And Stockdale does the right thing. His positioning's good. He's not absolutely sure that it's not dropping in at the far post, so deal with it. You notice for that last attack, actually, Patrick Roberts drifted in. Phil Jacobson didn't go with him, so it's vitally important. He passes the message on to his teammates that they have to pick him up if he doesn't.
Bailey Wright being closely watched. Pritchard drives that ball in. Sunderland have made the positive start here. It was Tafazzoli in combat there. Gate trying to help out for Wycombe. Aim number one for Sunderland this season was to escape this league through automatic promotion. It was Lee Johnson who was at the helm at the start of the campaign, but just as they were fading away from the top two, the decision was made to change manager. Alex Neil brought in. There's the man who makes the big decisions at the stadium, like Kirill Louis-Dreyfus, who made that decision. And he was brought in to shore up Sunderland and make them difficult to beat. And that is exactly what they've been. But Sunderland again going for it here. And how about that for a strike at Wembley Stadium from Elliot Embleton? His heart beats for Sunderland. A goal which means the world to him, his city, his people.
Well, when we saw Elliot Embleton's name on the team sheet, it did raise a few eyebrows. Why is he playing? Why is Jack Clarke not playing? Well, this is the answer. Emphatic. He just picks the ball up and drives. He carries it a long way. The Wycombe defenders don't step out. You know, Taffadzoli should be doing more. He should be engaging. But David Stockdale will be so disappointed. This is right down his throat. It's not really moving. He sees it all the way. I'm not sure what's happened to the Wycombe goalkeeper here, but credit Embleton for driving, for trying his luck. But a goalkeeper should be dealing with this. Just seems to be surprised when it arrives and can't get that left arm up. It's probably the goal that Sunderland deserve. They have started quickly, but Embleton in the team. It's a masterstroke from Alex Neil.
Well, it looked like it looked to him like he was unsighted, David Stockdale, as that ball came through, but it was Elliot Embleton who decided to try his luck, and Embleton's luck was in.
Yeah, Stockdale's reaction is like he's got, say, a centre-half, maybe a few metres away from him. He doesn't see the ball till late, and then he can't save it, but he can see that all the way. It's just a laboured reaction, strange.
Wearside voices filling the air inside Wembley Stadium. They were filling the air in Trafalgar Square last night. Now we're in North London. They've taken over too. And they have made the better start. And they've cashed in with that goal. Albeit it looked to be a strange one from David Stockdale's point of view.
Yeah, it's just not like Wycombe to give away cheap goals. I think in the last 14 games, they've only conceded 8 clean sheets. They're normally so strong, and David Stockdale has been a big part of that defensive strength. It was just very strange. There's just a lack of reaction there. I'll give Embleton credit for driving into space. Taffadzoli should really stepping out to deal with him a little bit sooner, but there's maybe a little bit of movement on the ball, but it's struck from outside the box. It's at you. It's just the way that left arm seems to come up so slowly. I think his reaction tells you that he's just not ready. He's just not anticipating the strike coming in, and can't keep it out.
Well, look at this. The Wearside wall. Thinking to do for Gareth Ainsworth, and Matt Bloomfield there alongside him, who's had to retire from football, but it's part of Gareth Ainsworth's coaching staff. The Sunderland fans loving that challenge from Bailey Wright. Here he is again.
Yeah, but it's so frustrating for coaches. You can have your game plan and it's working well to a degree, but you can't legislate for individual errors.
This is Pritchard. Sunderland are hungry for more. Wycombe have to stand their ground here. Pritchard's cross. Stewart diving through the air for Wycombe. Sunderland on the front foot again, but the referee was happy with that challenge.
There's another wicked ball in there from Pritchard. He needed defending. Stewart did well actually, because he's actually facing his own goal. If he mistimes or misjudges the head, he could head it back towards his own goal. He does well to actually flick it away from the target.
Horgan. As Wycombe tried to get a grip in this game that almost crept through to McCleary.
It's been a really strong start from Sunderland. We expected them to dominate possession. That's what we would have seen during the regular season as well. They put a huge amount of pressure on, attacking pressure on, and deserved that opening goal, really.
Jacobson. Abita picking out Josh Scowen. McCarthy to McCleary, who's had an excellent season this campaign for Wycombe. Gareth McCleary is back in love with football again, although maybe not quite at this moment in time. But they've worked this well. McCarthy getting forward, Vokes was in the middle, and Patterson gets to it.
That's been a good reaction to going behind from Wycombe. They've not panicked. You can't panic when you go 1-0 down. It's a long, long way to go. It's a clever little ball around the corner from Horgan. Sirkin gets caught on his heels there. It's a bit too easy for McCarthy to get in, but at the near post, Patterson's got his angles right. It's a slightly difficult ball to collect, but he does well.
A foul by Anthony Stewart, who did look around at the referee, a worried man there for a second. Pritchard. There's Anthony Stewart again. No foul by Pritchard. Although the referee has now given it. Free kick to Wycombe. Of course, scoring first in this particular final doesn't always mean that you can go on to win it. And Sunderland will know all about that after what happened here against Charlton 3 years ago.
You can hear the groans from the northeast from here.
But Alex Neil, he was getting a bit fed up with talk of Sunderland's playoffs past. He says if you think negatively, you will have a negative outcome. The playoffs have not been kind to Sunderland, but perhaps this is the day it changes. Wycombe will be hoping it doesn't. There's plenty of time for Gareth Ainsworth's men to fight their way back into this contest. That bounces away from Vokes. Embleton. There's Roberts. Roberts driving infield, looking to link up with Pritchard. McCarthy stepped out. So the player who's looking just to find a home is Patrick Roberts. After so many loan spells away from Manchester City, he has moved to permanently to Sunderland until the end of the season. But he says he just wants to find a home.
He's had a very strong opening 20 minutes of this game. He's looked really sharp and positive every time he's picked the ball up.
Chance here for Wycombe to ask some questions. McCleary. Gape is there for the pullback. He tries to pick out Sam Vokes, who was putting himself around inside the box, and the free kick goes the way of Sunderland.
Yeah, the way that Wycombe play, they like to get plenty of crosses into the box. Sam Vokes is the natural target, big target man. He's up against solid defenders. He's actually offside when that ball is played as well. And it's very important that Bailey Wright, Danny Bart, the two fullbacks, when they can, is close in on him. You can't give him time and space in the box because he'll punish you.
Well, the call from Gareth Ainsworth came from nowhere when he signed Sam Vokes. Sam Vokes was leaving Stoke City's training ground, and he was just desperate to play football again on a regular basis. He knew that he wouldn't be part of the plans this coming season for Stoke City. So Gareth Ainsworth gave him a call and said, we will create chances for you. You will play regularly, and that is exactly what's happened. And both have been rewarded with the 17 goals that Sam Vokes has scored this season.
Yeah, it's a huge part of Wycombe's effectiveness. It's not about how much of the ball that they have, it's how effective they are. When they get it, they get it into the box. They don't worry really about things that they can't do. They're just proud and confident in things that they can.
Well, that's a really intelligent ball. Played forward to Corey Evans. Once again, it's Roberts to Pritchard. Pritchard! And Stockdale behind that one.
I can understand the Wycombe defenders being a bit nervous when Roberts is in possession, Pritchard is in possession, because they are technically really gifted, but you've got to get closer than this. It's a bit too easy for them to create a bit of space and get a shot away. So whether it's Jacobson or Scowen, you've got to close players like Pritchard and Roberts down.
A beater with a header, and Anthony Patterson from North Shields will pick up for Sunderland. Tafazoli getting the better of Ross Stewart. In possession, Sunderland are 4-3-3 in this contest. Out of possession, they do tend to drop into a 5. We did hear Alex Neil say that he thought the central area would be key, which is why he's added that extra body into midfield in the form of Elliot Embleton, who's playing more centrally. And it's his goal which is making the difference right now. Bailey Wright into Embleton. Now the hugely experienced Danny Bart. There's Gooch. Roberts. Embleton again having a look. Serkin has made the dash forward on the far side of the pitch. McCleary just leaning into him, and he emerges with the ball. Abita. Abita trying to get the better of Gooch, and he did do. Gooch was being backed up. It's not his most natural position, Lyndon Gooch, of right back or right wing back.
Yeah, but the value there of Corey Evans just helping him out, understanding he might have a bit of a problem as Abita tries to take him on. He just makes it 2 against 1. Corey Evans, he's all his experience, just steps in and helps out the right back.
Well, his influence has been huge under Alex Neil. Corey Evans. His positional sense excellent, particularly when facing the counter-attack. And he's really flourished under the new Sunderland head coach.
Yeah, especially if you're going to play a back 4 and push Gooch and Serkin on to provide the width, and you need one of your central midfielders, and it usually is Corey Evans, just to help out, to help his centre-backs in case the team counter-attacks quickly.
Horgan dropping deep, coming for the ball and trying to set McCarthy away. McCleary. Gareth McCleary trying to dig out the cross, but he sends it behind.
They possibly got to be a little more patient, Wycombe. He's desperate to get that ball in, rather than just maybe recycle it, go backwards and then go forwards again. He just tries to knock a ball in, he's slightly off balance, he's under pressure, just keep the ball and go again.
Well, they are hoping that they will get another shot at Championship football, because let's not forget, Wycombe's only season at second-tier level was last season, and the fans were shut out because of the pandemic. You just wonder how much an effect the fans would have had at Adams Park, which is a tight, intimate stadium. They've been there for the entirety of the Championship season. Embleton urged to shoot, but elects to find Ross Stewart. That time he does shoot, and dealt with by Stockdale. Roberts shown the outside, takes up the invitation, but sends it behind.
It is notable how high up the pitch Embleton is playing when Sunderland have the ball. He is supporting the attacks. Just wonder here, could Stockdale have collected this? Not sure why he's palming that ball away. Keeps Sunderland in possession. You know, he's read it, he was dived. He should really be grabbing hold of that. Just knocking it back out to Patrick Roberts is risky.
Well, he made some big saves in the second leg at MK Dons, as Wycombe held on to take their place at Wembley. But he's been beaten here by Elliot Embleton. Danny Bart. That's McCarthy. Sunderland's mindset is to treat this game as just another match. The players sorted out their ticket arrangements and travel for friends and family last week, so they could just concentrate on the football this week. And they haven't changed anything at all in the build-up to this. Anthony Stewart. Pritchard trying to latch onto that under pressure from Stewart. Pritchard involved again. Anthony Stewart. Sam Vokes with eyes on it, beaten to it though by his former Stoke teammate Danny Bart. Those two are still in contact with each other, but they haven't been for the last couple of weeks. Tavazzoli, Jacobson. That's going. McCleary. That's McCarthy. McCleary again. Gabe. McCleary. Wycombe trying to open up Sunderland. One thing Alex Neil has done at the Stadium of Light is he's made Sunderland difficult to open up, hard to beat. They've lost just one of 17 games under Alex Neil. But Wycombe have been in pretty decent form as well. They've lost one of their last 14, and Vokes was setting himself there, closing in, but couldn't direct it on target.
Well, it's a very good opportunity. He's up against Lyndon Gooch at the far post. It's a mismatch. He's actually pulled himself away, and then he attacks it, and Gooch is just looking to block him off. He knows that he can't compete with him, he's too strong. Sam Vokes just mistimes the header. This is the kind of situation Wycombe will want. A centre forward dropping onto a smaller fullback, getting away from Bart and Wright. You see by his reaction, he knows should be doing better. It's just a misjudgment from him.
Well, it is a sign of where Wycombe are and the ambition of the club that they have Sam Vokes amongst their ranks. He signed a contract extension as well. He's waiting in the middle here. McCleary tried again to dig out the cross. 0-9 in the way that time. Adebayo, Akinfenwa warming up for Wycombe. He says goodbye to professional football today. He's been a winner here in the past. Just the 40 years of age. Away by Pritchard. Anthony Stewart in combat with Ross Stewart, who's after Tavazzoli and forcing him back.
Yeah, the Wycombe centre-halves will know all about Ross Stewart. His hard work off the ball. We saw what happened to Sam Hutchinson. Sheffield Wednesday made a mistake. Ross Stewart put him under pressure and scored. So you can't take any risks at the back. Tafazoli, Stewart, under pressure, get rid of it.
Horgan back to McCarthy. Horgan's cross. Folks trying to get to it, but Patterson does. It's Bailey Wright who got in the middle of all that and is feeling the effects.
Yeah, the goalkeeper has to come and deal with it as the cross is played in. There's too much flight on it, it's too high, it's too tempting for a goalkeeper. He has to come and claim it. A goalkeeper coming off his line to deal with it. Got Sam Vokes trying to get on the end of it. You don't want to be meeting that sandwich.
Patterson is 22 years of age, given his chance earlier this season. He has taken his chance. He was at Notts County on loan earlier in the campaign. Roberts. Gooch trying to get past Abita. Roberts through the gap to Pritchard. Pritchard with a turn. Interesting from Anthony Stewart, but he got the job done.
Oh, just about. We saw it earlier with Tafazoli. You know, ball's arriving virtually on the floor, and then they're trying to deal with it with their heads or their thighs. It's far from conventional defending. But Pritchard and Roberts working together, causing Wycombe a lot of problems.
Was that one not in your manual?
That wasn't in my playbook. I had enough problems kicking it.
Fair point. Wycombe have left 2 forward here, so Sunderland have to bring 3 back. And the referee has a bit of sorting out to do in the penalty box. And we go over Luke O'Nine and Jacobson by the looks of it. And now play will resume. Pritchard standing over this for Sunderland. It's an outswinger from Pritchard. It is kept alive, and Bailey Wright going for it, and it drops onto the roof of the net.
Yeah, it's not an easy chance. I just wonder, could he have maybe taken it down on his chest? Oh, it's deep. It's just kept alive, really, at the far post. But as it drops, he's under no real pressure. Could he have possibly jumped and maybe just taken the pace off the ball and dropped it down to his feet? It's very difficult if you take this on with your head. It's a looping ball. You've got to generate the power, the accuracy. Very difficult.
Vokes looking to attack that. Bailey Wright won the duel. There's Roberts trying to shake off Scowen, which can be a difficult task. It's a free kick to Sunderland, which is quickly taken as Ross Stewart gives chase to this. And he's picked out Pritchard, who lays it back towards Ross Stewart, who couldn't quite get to it.
It's so intelligent, though, from Ross Stewart, because Wycombe, they like to push their fullbacks high up the pitch, and when the free kick was given away from Scowen, Ross Stewart just broke into the space in behind Jason McCarthy. That's where the space is. And Wycombe, I think they can pinch the ball back on the halfway line. So he's such a good all-round player. He works hard. Of course, he scores goals. But that intelligence just to drop into pockets of space when defenders have been committed up the pitch.
Arrived from Ross County back in January 2021. He's been in a Scotland squad this season, Ross Stewart. I won't mention again that his nickname's Loch Ness Drogba.
I knew it was coming. You can't help yourself, can you?
It's the greatest nickname in football. Right, that's done. There's Gooch. Roberts. Now Pritchard. Stewart, nicely done. Roberts goes down. The assistant referee's raised his flag on this near side, which means offside VAR, remember, is in play.
Yeah, it's absolutely spot on as well. It's a forward ball is played. Ross Stewart has gone slightly too early. It's a really disciplined defensive line. So important that Anthony Stewart didn't drop goal side there of Stewart. We would have played him on. There could have been a possibility of a penalty, but maybe a slight touch on Roberts, but it doesn't matter. Immaterial. Offside flag up. Right decision.
Yeah, offside the first offence, so what followed didn't matter. Horgan. McCarthy. Folks again battling in the middle. Again, it's good handling from Anthony Patterson.
Well, it's a catch he should take. There's just too much flight on these crosses. They're getting down the right-hand side time and time again. Wycombe. It's either McCarthy or McCleary putting the crosses in, but they've really got to whip them in. There's big centre halves. A keeper more than willing to come off his line and deal with those crosses. So you've got to put them in much more flatly.
But Sunderland's defenders know that the keeper behind them does want to come for those crosses. McCleary. Corey Evans, the Northern Ireland international. There's Danny Bart. Now Sirkin. Gareth Ainsworth has built a Wycombe team that can mix things up. If they want to go direct, they can do. He believes that he has more good ball players in his team as well now. But one thing he doesn't want to do is see his team play inside their own half. He wants to get the ball into the opposition's half and play from there.
There's nothing worse, nothing more frustrating for, say, Sam Vokes, if you do get the ball into the Sunderland half and you make 10 passes and don't get a crossing, don't give him an opportunity. So, by all means, play your football, but when you can get a crossing or a ball into the box, do it.
Tafazoli's forward here. That's Gape. McCarthy. There's McCleary. And Sunderland standing their ground and no way through for Gareth McCleary. 09 getting to that.
It's vitally important that O'Nien and Evans, the two central midfielders for Sunderland at times, if they can, is to get out across, help out their fullbacks. We've seen Evans do it on the right-hand side with Gooch. On that occasion, you see O'Nien helping out Sirkin, and down that right-hand side with McCleary in particular. That's primarily where Wycombe are looking to attack and get their crosses in from, so it's vitally important O'Nien does that job.
He's so versatile, is Luke O'Nien. We've seen him play centre-back this season, wing-back, midfield, where he's operating today. He says even he doesn't really know where his best position is anymore. But wherever he plays, he does give his best. Former Wycombe man. That's Vokes. O'Nien again. There's Ross Stewart. Nicely done by him. O'Nien unable to smuggle that ball through to Pritchard. McCleary. There's Jacobson. Abita has kept the ball in play, but has turned over possession. And that's where Sunderland have defended really well so far. Patterson, apart from some crosses, hasn't really been tested in the Sunderland goal.
Well, it shows how much Sunderland have been on the front foot, the pressure they put Wycombe under. And it is about having the ball, getting into dangerous areas, but you've got to work the opposition goalkeepers, and that's the main problem that Wycombe are having, is getting it up the pitch and then working Patterson. Plenty of crosses. There's just been too much flight on them, too easy for the keeper to come and claim.
Oakes making a move for that, but was beaten to it by Bailey Wright. Horgan. Stockdale will pick up here. Launch that long, and Bart and Bailey Wright getting in each other's way. And this could be trouble here as Oakes tries to get to it. Sunderland shaky at the back.
Well, that's a defensive shambles. The two centre-halves just not talking to each other. Both attacking the same ball, and then Gooch gets himself into a pickle as well. Under no real pressure, trying to head back to his goalkeeper, I presume. They are lucky to escape. It just shows the problems just folks being around can cause. Defenders, 3 of them panicking.
And defensively, they have been sound since Alex Neil walked through the door at the Stadium of Light. But encouragement there for Wycombe.
Yeah, you mentioned that record under Alex Neil, just 1 defeat in 17 games, but they have a 53% win rate as well, so they're not an ultra-defensive team. They're a team that defend well. But as we've seen, they get forward, they create a lot of opportunities. They are an exciting team to watch. He's got the balance absolutely right.
There's Roberts, who has 2 for company and skips away from Joe Jacobson. Able to pick out Pritchard, who then commits the foul. Jason McCarthy, the man who's down.
Just a bit frustrated, Pritchard, with the forward ball that's played his way, and it's not the worst challenge you've ever seen, is it?
There can be a trio of trouble behind Ross Stewart, Roberts, Pritchard and Embleton. Thumping header from 09. Tafazzoli standing his ground.
It has been a really entertaining half, though. The blistering start that Sunderland made. I thought they could maybe get 2 or 3 goals and the final would be over, but Wycombe have stayed in it. They've grown into the half.
They're just looking for that one big moment in front of goal, which hasn't come their way yet. They get themselves a free kick.
Yeah, with Wycombe, it's not about however well they're playing or how much possession that they have. There is always a threat, because opportunities like this with Jacobson over the ball, they work so hard on their set pieces. You can always create something out of nothing.
It's the Wycombe fans rising up away to our right. They sense that something could happen here. Jacobson standing over this set piece, lifted into an attacking area, a great area too, and Anthony Stewart was arriving on the scene, but it comes to nothing in the end.
This is what he's done all season. Joe Jacobson right on the money. It's a brilliant delivery. He's got that Sunderland defence running back towards its own goal. That's where defenders don't want to be. A whisker away.
With that brilliant challenge on Troy Parrott in the semi-final second leg against MK Dons, Joe Jacobson, as we head into 1 additional minute. McCarthy, Pritchard. This is Sunderland's 4th playoff final. They've lost in their previous 3, but they're on course here, thanks to a strike from Elliot Embleton. Pritchard. It was a nice idea, good offer by 09, but he couldn't bring the ball under his spell.
Oh, it was some forward pass from Alex Pritchard outside of his boot. Inch perfect.
Sunderland on course for the championship right now. Alex Neil's team in front, thanks to Sunderland fan Elliot Embleton, who tried his luck, chanced his arm, and his luck was in as he found a way past David Stockdale, who will be disappointed with conceding that goal. At the break at Wembley, it's Sunderland 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Yes, thank you, Michelle. Well, the plan this season for Sunderland was to play more football, lower the age of the squad and win promotion. A big ask in League One, trying to fit all of that in. Alex Neil, when he arrived, felt that too many young players were taking on too much responsibility. They were physically and mentally fatigued. Brought more experienced players into the starting 11. And Sunderland, right now, are on course for the championship. But Wigan have come too far to let this go now.
There's an early opportunity here for Jacobson and Wycombe to get the ball into the Sunderland box. A misjudgment there from Sirkin, tried to block off McCleary rather than deal with the ball, and he's given away a cheap free kick.
Tafazoli amongst those forward and waiting to make an impact here. Joe Jacobson, who's a bit of a veteran when it comes to playoffs now, he is standing over this. Looking to deliver that left foot of his. Comfortably dealt with and hooked away by Roberts. Back in by Jacobson. Ross Stewart that time. Reminder that Alex Neil making one change to the team which won the semi-final against Sheffield Wednesday, and that is bringing in Elliot Embleton. He's been rewarded with the only strike so far as McCleary is caught.
And once again, it's Sirkin just mistiming the challenge. And this is what the Wycombe players are saying. That's 2 fouls in the first minute and a half of the second half. You know, why is Sirkin not being booked? But they should be doing that. The left back has to switch on, has to be sharper. Giving away a couple of free kicks, just inviting pressure on his defence. It's a poor pass actually from O'Nien that puts Sirkin in trouble, and always stretching, never getting there.
20 years of age, Dennis Sirkin, all 40 of his senior games, 41 as it would be now this season, have been this season, having signed from Tottenham. So another chance here for Jacobson to deliver something with that left foot of his. Sunderland dealt comfortably with the last set piece that came their way. How about now? Folks makes his move now. In by Jacobson, tempting Patterson off his line. And again, the Sunderland goalkeeper deals with it. And the flag goes up this time to frustrate Wycombe Wanderers.
Yeah, every decision that Patterson has made coming off his line to deal with the ball into the box, you know, he's got right. Well, Sirkin was actually booked for this first foul on McCleary here. He just blocks him off, realises he's in trouble, pulls the shirt. Was booked for that, so he's got to be really careful. That's maybe why the Wycombe players were thronging round Simon Hooper. They're possibly saying that should have been a second yellow and should he be sent off. I don't agree with that. To me, that is a foul, nothing more.
And he won't want to give the referee any big questions to answer going forward here, Dennis Sirkin. Gareth Ainsworth must have delivered a big half-time team talk. He says this isn't pressure. Pressure was 8 years ago on the final day of the season, having to beat Torquay to stay alive as an EFL club and not drop back into non-league football. They did win that day. Had they gone down, they could have gone bust. That's how pressurised the day that was. Gareth Ainsworth determined to enjoy this particular day, but his team need to turn this around. Roberts was swooped upon. Anthony Stewart trying to set McCarthy away. Vokes waiting in the box. McCarthy couldn't get enough lift on the cross. Bart was in the way for Sunderland. That's Pritchard. There's McCleary. Horgan with the cross that time. Again, it's repelled by Danny Bart. Good pressure in Wycombe at the start of this second half.
Yeah, Alex Neil will be worried. His side haven't got going at all. Gareth Ainsworth will be delighted. Whatever he said, his worked. His team incredibly positive on the front foot, forcing the issue.
Attacking the end where their fans are housed. Just over 22,000 have made it from High Wycombe. Their average attendance this season is around about 6,000. That header has dropped to Sam Vokes. Vokes trying to slalom his way through, but ran into trouble. And Sunderland are having to dig their heels in here.
You can hear the groans there from the Sunderland fans. It was such a poor header from Danny Bart, such an experienced defender. Made a mess of it, got away with it.
Anthony Stewart steps into Embleton. But this is just the start that Gareth Ainsworth and his coaching staff would have called for at the start of this second 45.
Yeah, they've really been at it. The Sunderland fans enjoyed the first half, enjoyed the half-time break with the music pumping out, but they've been a little bit nervy. The start of the second half, their team haven't really got going.
I saw you tapping your left foot as well, Andy, to that music at half-time. Surprised you didn't get injured knowing you.
That's about all I can do.
There's Embleton to Pritchard. Pritchard faced by Anthony Stewart, who's been drawn out, and the cross was perfect, but the header in the end wasn't. Ross Stewart, who thrives on that kind of service, unable to find a way past Stockdale.
Well, Wycombe as a team have started the second half strongly, but Sunderland have individuals like Pritchard who could create something out of nothing. Wicked ball in. You see what he's trying to do, Ross Stewart, heading back across goal, and he's inches away.
Pritchard. Now Roberts. Anthony Stewart intervenes. There's McCleary. McCarthy ahead of him. McCarthy. Vokes makes the move towards the near post, but there was no way through for McCarthy.
Well, we saw in the first half, Wycombe did attack a lot more down their right-hand side than their left, and that's really carried on at the start of this second half with McCarthy supporting McCleary, causing Sunderland problems. They've got to deal with that.
McCarthy, who's keeping Jack Grimmer out of this Wycombe team, on the launch pad here, looking for an option. He's found Horgan. McCarthy again. There's McCleary. Horgan, the Irish international, McCleary, and Pritchard was right on his toes. And the referee wants a word with Gareth McCleary.
Yeah, Wycombe just need to be sharper. Sunderland under Alex Neil are defensively so disciplined. They don't go chasing after the ball. They keep their defensive shapes. You've got to work them. You've got to move them around, but you've got to play sharp football. If he gets away from you, the challenge will snap in.
Well, Lewis Wing is being spoken to there. Stripped off and ready for action. From a family of Middlesbrough fans, Lewis Wing, where of course he was up until he made the switch to Wycombe.
Yeah, just wonder whether this substitution, was it planned, or is it a reaction to the way that Wycombe have started on the front foot? Positive, he wants another attacking player on the pitch while the going's good.
'09, Pritchard smuggled that through to Embleton, unable to link up with Ross Stewart.
Yeah, some of Pritchard's movement and touch is outstanding.
Well, he's a player that Alex Neil signed for Norwich, Alex Pritchard. They've been reunited at the Stadium of Light. Stewart running out of pitch. Anthony Stewart not too impressed that the ball got that far.
Substitution for Wycombe, leaving the field number 17, Darryl.
There's the change. Lewis Wing coming on to replace Daryl Horgan, who has been operating in that number 10 position just behind the striker, and he's a picture of frustration, Daryl Horgan, as he is withdrawn. And on comes Lewis Wing.
Yeah, it's been hard for Horgan, playing that supporting role from the middle of the pitch. The ball needs to go into Sam Vokes, so then he can affect the play off that. But Vokes has had such little service. It means that Horgan hasn't really seen the ball.
Used to play for CM Red Star in the Wearside League, Lewis Wing. He's up against Sunderland here and hoping to destroy their dreams. Ross Stewart.
Oh, Wycombe are dominating the ball, but it's really the story in the second half is similar to the first. They're not really creating the opportunities to test Anthony Patterson. Having the ball is one thing. Can he create that opportunity to equalise?
There's Wing, McCarthy. McCarthy again. Gareth McLeary. Who sends that cross in. A beater will give chase.
Well, Wycombe made a strong start to this half, but Ross Stewart could have actually killed the final off if this header had just dropped in. He's up so early, it's virtually impossible to out-jump him. You see what he's trying to do, and it's the right thing. Head it back across goal with the keeper moving to his left, head it to his right, but it's just not on target.
Vokes had come back from an offside position. We're hearing that Jack Clarke is being readied by Sunderland. There's confirmation of it. Alex Neil did say in his pre-match interview that this game could be set for Jack Clarke in the second half. And it looks like Clarke's arrival is imminent. He was excellent against Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, they've got a trio of dangerous players on the bench, Sunderland in McGeady, Clarke and Broadhead. Maybe it's fight fire with fire. Wycombe have started well. And send Jack Clarke on. If he shows the form that we saw in those two semi-final games against Sheffield Wednesday, they could easily get a second goal and the final could be over.
There's McLeary. McLeary again. Danny Bart. There's a neat touch there from Patrick Roberts, which invited the foul from Jacobson. Roberts, who was playing in French football in the first half of the season. I say playing, he had very little game time at Troyes. Says he was sat in his room in France wondering what he was doing there at the time, and got the chance to move to Sunderland and took up that opportunity. Roberts again. There is more of a spring and a step of Wycombe Wanderers in this second half.
Yeah, but they do have to be careful. Sunderland have individuals that could break their hearts.
Anthony Stewart. Well, that's bounced through to Vokes. Sam Vokes! Patterson was there to greet him, and he had to stand his ground.
He just couldn't really get the ball down. You know, it's a bouncing ball, a bobbling ball. He seems slightly surprised, as I was really. The ball actually found its way through to him. That's a surprise, the misjudgment from Bailey Wright. He's normally such a reliable defender, gets it wrong. Vokes has stepped off him and just can't really kill it. Needs that touch to really sit down. Then he can possibly slide it past the keeper, but Patterson Comes out quickly, closes Vokes down. It's good goalkeeping.
Well, I mentioned in the first half, he is a goalkeeper who's been given his opportunity this season. He didn't make his league debut till August. But now he's trying to keep their dreams alive. There's the change. It's Embleton, the goal scorer, who leaves the scene. The season ticket holder from the age of 9 till he signed professionally for the club he loves. And he has delivered the big moment in this final so far.
Well, he drove into space. Tafazoli didn't step out and close him down. Struck it cleanly. A huge goalkeeping error. Could have made him the hero. This was always going to be the tactical plan, it seems, from Alex Neil. Sending on Embleton just to secure the midfield. Of course, got the bonus of him scoring the opening goal as well. So they've got the lead. They're in control of the game to a degree. Send on Jack Clark to finish the job.
A loan signing from Tottenham, Jack Clark. Sure you remember that signing that Spurs made from Leeds after he'd only played a handful of games, as Jacobson takes charge of the situation. But Spurs paid around about £8 or £9 million to secure his services after that handful of games for Leeds United. Now Clark finds himself on loan at Sunderland and looking to help inspire them to promotion back to the Championship. The referee was happy with that challenge on Lyndon Gooch. Here's Tafazoli. Stewart. McCarthy. Stewart again. Well, Corey Evans again, putting the pressure on. And this time it was Lewis Wing that he got to.
Yeah, there's no game that follows just one path, so Sunderland have to appreciate this is a phase of the game where Wycombe are having the better of it. They've got to make sure they don't concede, and then as things changed, as Wycombe maybe take a few more risks, the game opens up, there's more space, then you can get the job done.
Another change imminent from Gareth Ainsworth. Brandon Hanlon will be joining us shortly. To add his attacking threat to this contest. Wycombe, who finished in 6th position in League One this season, 83 points. There were teams who got 80 points and just below who didn't make it into the playoffs. That is the quality at the top end of League One this season. McCleary. There's McCarthy. Sirkin deals with it for Sunderland. You can feel the tension just beginning to build around Wembley Stadium. McCarthy. The cross from Anthony Stewart. Vokes in the middle, battling for everything. And away by Pritchard. Sam Vokes again, leaned out of it by Gooch, who was desperate to lead Sunderland back to the second tier. He's seen everything with Sunderland, and Gooch made his debut for them in the Premier League. There's the Wycombe change. Brandon Hanlon coming on, and off goes Jordan Abita. Hanlon just back from injury. Scored 1 goal in his last 14 games Wycombe need a goal from someone here. Forward by Gabe, that's Vokes. Clark involved. Corey Evans hunted down by Wing. McCleary. And Gate plays it just behind McCarthy, who applauds the intent and applauds what Wycombe are trying to do here.
Yeah, but you can understand these attacking changes from Gareth Ainsworth, bringing on Hanlon and Wing. The team have started well. He didn't wait too long to make those changes. 20 minutes into the second half, both those attacking players are on, looking to affect the game.
Bailey Wright. Roberts, faced by Jacobson again. Stewart makes the move ahead of it. Patrick Roberts, now it's Pritchard. Roberts went for the return, and it's smashed away by McCarthy. And the assistant's flag is raised. Offside given again, and a free kick to Sunderland.
There it is a worry though for Wycombe when Roberts and Pritchard look to combine. They're technically gifted, really sharp when they go forward.
Well, he's played in some huge games for Celtic. Patrick Roberts, a title winner in his time at Celtic. Won it a few times at Celtic. That's why he's enjoying the big stage at the Stadium of Light and here at Wembley. And he's in another real battle again there with Jacobson. Pritchard. Roberts. And Jacobson intervening for Wycombe, who in their history have only ever spent one season in the second tier. They're a club who want to get back there and want to build steadily in the Championship. And they're hoping that the likes of Joe Jacobson can lead them there again. They've got a quarter of this contest to turn this around. Roberts trying to find a way through. He's continued his run. He goes to ground, and the referee says corner, nothing more, but VAR will check it.
Well, you've got Stewart and Jacobson, who seem to me as if they make a beeline for Roberts rather than the ball. I just wondered there whether one or either of them definitely collide with Roberts. VAR have checked it, they feel it's okay. It just seemed to me as if Stewart's actually leaning across Roberts, stopping him get to the ball. Big call, little give and go. This is what's so dangerous for Wycombe. And to me, he does seem to get caught.
Well, it was checked by Lee Mason. No case to answer for Wycombe. Sunderland have a corner and nothing more, as Wycombe look to try and stand their ground here to stay in this playoff final. There's plenty of movement in the box. Pritchard with the delivery, and the header goes over the top from Danny Bart.
But you do get the sense of the last 5 minutes or so, Sunderland just starting to get their foot back on the ball, dictate the flow of the game. They're in a bit more control than they were.
Well, he's the fourth man to try and lead them out of this league, Alex Neil. And they turn to him because of his CV, 2 promotions via the playoffs, plus his ability to improve teams and the fact he's a straight talker as well. He doesn't listen to any outside noise. Clark. Ross Stewart is up there with him. Clark towards Stewart. And again, some last-ditch defending from Wycombe.
Well, we saw it against MK Dons, Josh Scowen. Crucial interceptions, and this is another in the final. Once Jack Clarke is in this position, you've got a problem. He's up against the centre half. It's a dangerous cross. But look at Scowen. He has a look once and twice. He knows exactly where the cross is going to be aimed for. He knows that Ross Stewart has made his run, and he's just there in the nick of time. It's great defending from the central midfielder.
Against his old club, where it didn't quite work out for him at the Stadium of Light, Josh Scowen. He may be busy again here. Pritchard standing over the corner. It's a D1 to Stewart, who's got free. And they didn't make the most of that. Although he wants a corner. I think Joe Jacobson is saying no. Right decision. Just over 72,000 inside Wembley today. The people of Sunderland, the people of High Wycombe have come out. This is the people's sport, and the playoffs mean everything as Pritchard catches McCarthy.
Oh, we could be in for a pulsating 20 minutes here. Wycombe have to take risks. They have to commit bodies forward. That's going to lead to an open game. And Sunderland could easily sweep up the pitch and put it to bed.
Vokes in a battle again. Foul by Dominic Gape on Pritchard, and the pressure relieved for Sunderland.
Yeah, Pritchard does really well to protect that ball. The only way Gape is going to get to the ball is going through Pritchard, which means it's going to be a foul. And you're right, just relieves all the pressure. Wycombe want to build up that pressure, get the ball in the box, get bodies in there. And Pritchard again doing his job for the team defensively this time, putting his body on the line, getting fouled and relieving all that pressure.
Those from the Stadium of Light, lighting up Wembley Stadium. With noise, hope and optimism that they can break free of their playoff curse this time. Clarke, Pritchard, Clarke again, moves away from McCarthy. Clarke was not for giving that up. It was Gape who was shutting the door and has injured himself in the process. Well, Sam Vokes with a little bit of paperwork. I think it's a post-it note. Where's he going with it? And then who will destroy it? All these questions will be answered. Lewis Wing has a look. Is this for you? Is it for you? Oh, it's for you. Always reminds me of Ross Wallace. Do you remember that playoff? I think it was a playoff, Sheffield Wednesday, Huddersfield, when he just stepped in and looked at the Huddersfield note.
Is it the tactics that's confusing or the handwriting? It's hard to know.
Note still in hand of Sam Vokes as Wycombe's players gather around Gareth Ainsworth. Gape is being treated, and the Sunderland fans are raising the volume inside Wembley.
Yeah, they found their voices again as their team have got themselves on the ball again.
Well, look who's ready. Adebayo, Akinfenwa. His final appearance in professional football comes on the greatest stage in professional football. The 40-year-old about to step onto the pitch of Wembley, looking to rescue his club. It's Dominic Gape who's withdrawn.
It can't happen, can it? What a story this would be for Bayo Akinfenwa. If he were to come on and be the hero, I wouldn't put it past him.
tell you one man who's nervous is David Craig, because Akinfenwa did say, if I score or win, you're taking me out for dinner. So our reporter David Craig will be a nervous man right now. Akinfenwa on. He's calling it his last dance, a waltz at Wembley. Pritchard doing the fouling and his yellow carded.
Yeah, they're going to throw everything at Sunderland now with Vokes, Hanlon and Akinfenwa as a front three. There's a pullback from Pritchard. A few times in the game he's actually lost control of the ball, and the break was on. Scone was looking to get up the pitch and he says, I'm not having that.
Akinfenwa gets his head on it. Hanlon tried to get there. An important touch from Tafazoli. Akinfenwa again brings the ball under his spell. There's McCleary. Akinfenwa involved immediately. That's Stewart. Pritchard unable to get to it. But Akinfenwa's introduction has lifted the Wycombe end. And he probably could lift the Wycombe end. Adebayo, Akinfenwa. Amazing strength, but as we all know with Adebayo Akinfenwa, what he can do with his feet is amazing too. He can spot a pass as well, and he's trying to get on the end of that. There's Patrick Roberts. Looking to slide that through to Stewart, but Tafazoli with the matter in hand for Wycombe Wanderers.
It's also the timing of the introduction of Akinfenwa as well. When Sunderland were starting to boss the game, they've sent on their talisman and could just again turn the game in Wycombe's favour.
Jacobson, Hanlon to his left, Akinfenwa to his right. Sam Vokes lurking on the edge of the box, but just too much height on it. And the flag has gone up in any case for offside. One thing Gareth Ainsworth has told his players to do in terms of VAR being involved in this game today is to make sure that they play on until the end of that phase of play. That's the only adjustment that he's spoken about to his players, with VAR being used in this League One playoff final today. But they're not giving up hope.
Where there's Akinfenwa, there is hope.
Pritchard rising but beaten to it. That's 09. McCarthy. Sam Vokes in a tussle once again with his former Stoke and Wolves teammate Danny Bart. This is a Sunderland team who are so difficult to beat, who don't concede many goals, and Wycombe have to open them up here, and Hanlon trying to do just that. Hanlon, a team effort in the end, no trouble at all for Patterson.
Well, he does all the hard work, he just takes the opportunity on too early. If he'd just maybe taken a breath, another second, great strength and pace to get in behind, but then if he maybe just assesses the situation, possibly picks out a teammate, he's got three options there, taking the shot on from that angle wasn't the best one.
Well, Sunderland are preparing another change. Callum Doyle, the centre-back on loan from Manchester City, is ready to come on. We're hearing it will be Alex Pritchard who will make way shortly, which tells you everything where this game is right now and how close Sunderland are to sealing a return to the Championship. Pritchard's not done yet, though. It's Ross Stewart! Sunderland took over Trafalgar Square last night. Now they're taking over football's most famous landmark. Their misery in League One may be over. The Championship is beckoning.
And as he's done all season, Ross Stewart, in front of goal, he's clinical. Pritchard, who was going to be coming off, it was going to be a conservative move. The change was going to be made. How about this for maybe the last bit of play before you do go off. But just watch Ross Stewart, how he drifts away from defenders. He makes space for himself, then Stewart doesn't step onto him, doesn't close him down. You give Stewart a sight of goal, he's going to punish it, and he just really passes it. It's all about the accuracy, it's not about power from here. Just opens the angle up, and it's a clever finish, because you see Stockdale feels a right-footed player, he's going to go to my left. He's wrong-footed. It's a beautiful finish, and that could take Sunderland to the Championship.
Sliding into hero status, Ross Stewart gives Sunderland vital breathing space in this League One playoff final. Alex Pritchard is withdrawn. That was his last big moments of this big season for Sunderland.
Well, Alex Neil will be absolutely delighted. Bringing on Callum Doyle when you're 1-0 up is one thing. Bringing him on when you're 2-0 up, totally different.
So the 18-year-old Callum Doyle into the action for Sunderland as they look now to see this out. Wycombe with it all to do, and 10 minutes plus additional time in which to do it in.
See Akinfenwa though, he was doing his best. He wasn't worried about those Sunderland celebrations. He was cajoling his teammates, saying, come on, we just need to get a goal. Plenty of time left, let's keep at it.
Well, this season they're at the west end of Wembley and their team are putting on a show, but it's not over yet. Jacobson for Wycombe. Vokes in the middle, beaten to it. Bailey Wright beating him to it. How much is left in the tank for Wycombe? Do they have enough for one last push this season to keep their dream alive?
Yeah, that finish from Ross Stewart really sums up the difference between the teams so far. It's been clinical, creating opportunity and then sticking it away.
Well, he's after this. Faced by Tofazoli. It's Stewart who drags it wide that time.
And that's Stewart, what, his 5th goal between the sides this season, isn't he? Got 2 in each of the league games. He's got another now. He's really showcased his talents. He's a quality finisher, but he works so hard. He gives teammates forward passing options. There's so much good work, but the amount of goals that he scored, it just comes from that cool, clinical head. When you have an opportunity, you don't panic. And that was the story of his goal.
Tafazoli, 09 in the way. Here's Clark. Roberts, Clark to his left, and Stewart too. Roberts, Stewart, held off by Anthony Stewart. Akinfenwa, lovely touch again. That's 09. There's Sirkin, Clark. McCarthy in the way. Corey Evans. There's McCarthy. Wycombe needs something special here. Callum Doyle getting involved. When you come to Wembley, you have to win. And that is the winner's enclosure right now. For too long, Sunderland have felt the pain of the playoffs. Is this their moment to shine? Nice touch by Ross Stewart. Lyndon Gooch looking to release Roberts. Sunderland looking to kill this off now. Clark's up there with him. It's Roberts! Wycombe are still alive.
Well, this is going to happen as Wycombe commit bodies up the pitch. They could get caught out. He has 2 options. Play the early crossfield pass to Jack Clark, or take it on yourself. But if you do that, you're going to get criticised if you don't hit the target. You can see Jack Clark thinking, just give me the ball. You've got to score if you duck in field.
Here comes Sunderland again. Anthony Stewart is dealing with that. Wycombe, who finished above such big names this season, the likes of Ipswich and Portsmouth, Charlton. But is their season to end in heartbreak? It would take a dramatic turnaround now, but it has been known.
Yeah, the timing of the Stewart goal is devastating for Wycombe. They brought on Akinfenwa. They were getting on the ball. The Wycombe fans were getting behind the team, and then bang! Ross Stewart, cool as you like, makes it 2.
There's McCarthy. Again, it's a Sunderland head which makes first contact, and that is deflected behind. Scowen took aim as Patterson went flying across his goal. Corey Evans wasn't taking any chances.
I think he's right too. He can't be absolutely sure that this isn't on target, so you can't duck out of the way. You can get your head to it, make sure that you do it is on target. You know, Patterson would have had some work to do, but excellent positioning from Evans.
Which pretty much sums up most of his campaign, Corey Evans. Jacobson tries to drop that corner right on top of Patterson. Again, the Sunderland goalkeeper has come up with the goods. But here's Anthony Stewart. Stewart, Vokes was at the near post, but so too was that man Patterson.
Oh, it's the wrong choice. As Stewart gets the ball back, just watch Bayo Akinfenwa's position here. He just steps away from defenders. He's on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's given himself the space. He's hoping that Stewart has seen him, and he hasn't.
Nathan Broadhead is about to come on for Sunderland as one of their famous anthems rings out around the west end of Wembley. But Wycombe aren't done here. Hanlon. McCleary, plenty of space here. McCleary. He was quickly closed down by Corey Evans again. There's the change. Nathan Broadhead is coming on, and the man to be withdrawn is Sunderland's leading man, Ross Stewart, who may just have read this script perfectly.
Just watch his technique here. He just opens the angle up, and rather than just pass that ball to the keeper's left, he intentionally draws across it, pulls it. He's got the keeper wrong-footed, and that, again, in a second, making that decision, making the right decision, so important.
Peter Reid in attendance here, knows the pain of the playoffs. Niall Quinn here too. McCarthy with the cross, and it goes behind for a goal kick to Sunderland, who are just minutes away now. A lap of honour for Ross Stewart, and why not?
Well, a goal in the final. He's going to be a hero because of that, but his goals this season have propelled Sunderland to this final. So don't forget all those league goals, regular season goals that he scored. It's not just about the goal he scored here at Wembley.
Well, there's the man who made the change, and there's the man he brought in. And Alex Neil is minutes away from leading Sunderland back to the second tier. And of course, that's not good enough for Sunderland Football Club. But they will be facing in the right direction for the first time in 4 years. To think of them in League One was unthinkable. For them to still be there is unthinkable. But is this the day they make it out? McCleary's cross. Akinfenwa trying to get involved, and Patterson calls for calm.
Yeah, and you have to remember that Sunderland were, second in League One? I think they'd had a heavy defeat against Bolton. They lost 6-0 against Bolton. That probably prompted the change. But, you know, when you were doing pretty well, just 2 points off the top of the table, to then get your next manager in or choose to make that change, it's been and proved to be inspired. He's done it again, seemingly, Alex Neil.
Yeah, it was Lee Johnson who says that defeat against Bolton still haunts him, and Lee Johnson did send a good luck message to Sunderland. Lee Johnson, who's now back in the game at Hibs. But for Wycombe, Gareth Ainsworth said to get to this stage is an achievement. He's such a positive character. This will hurt, but he will make sure that they recover if they don't recover in this game. Hanlon. Scowen. McCleary. Vokes in the middle and Akinfenwa. Akinfenwa gets a touch on it, but no real power to trouble Patterson. 5 additional minutes.
It's not easy for Akinfenwa because Sirkin has done well. You see, he's just battling with him, he's just pushing and pulling him, he's making sure he stays goal side of him. That means Akinfenwa can't get clean contact on the cross.
Well, for so long for Sunderland, this has been the home of misery. But they won the Papa John's Trophy final a year ago without their fans by their side. This time their fans are by their side with ringside seats for what could be, as it stands, a huge win in their history to get them moving again. Clark's on the move here. He's still going, it's Clark! Kept out by Stockdale. O'Nien stepping in. And O'Nien celebrating that challenge. Well, there will be bedlam in the city of Sunderland very shortly, as well as here amongst the Sunderland fans, unless Wycombe can dig deep and find something. Scowen. Try to slip it through to McCleary. It's Hanlon. Another important challenge, that time by Danny Bart. Stockdale getting to that. Keeping up some Stockdale. Maybe stating his case for a different position next season. But he'll be disappointed with that first goal he conceded. And then Sunderland got the second thanks to Ross Stewart.
Today's Sky Bet League One playoff man of the match is Sunderland's number 21, Alex Pritchard.
Two and a half minutes to play. There's Roberts trying to step away from McCleary. Sunderland on the front foot again, but then Scowen gets to it.
Well, playoff finals, big occasions, they lift you up or they beat you down, but the diminutive Alex Pritchard has proved himself a Sunderland giant here today.
And he is heading back to the Championship.
Yeah, from right at the start of the game, Sunderland were at it, Pritchard was at it. He has been superb.
Wing who can strike them at another well-timed challenge, that time by O'Nien. McCleary. Sunderland doing all they can to try and protect their clean sheet. Broadhead.
Yeah, for Sunderland we talked a lot about Stewart and Pritchard and Roberts and Clark, but defensively, you know, Danny Bart, Bailey Wright, Lyndon Gooch, Dennis Sirkin, the back four have defended stoically.
Akinfenwa. The Sunderland fans are beginning to celebrate around Wembley. Slammed forward by Stockdale. That's Jacobson.
Well, this performance really sums up Alex Neil's Sunderland. They can be great on the ball, they can create chances, they can score goals, but they can dig in. And there was a period of the game where they had to dig in and defend well, keep it at 1-0. The balance he has in this Sunderland side, what he's done to Sunderland since he's arrived is quite extraordinary. Galvanised the team. The fans appreciate what he's done for them as well. Real togetherness at Sunderland.
Sunderland have been chasing rainbows in playoffs past, but this is the year they find the playoff pot of gold. They're back in the Championship. Their League One misery is over. And those Sunderland players who wear the famous stripes and walk in the footsteps of legends are the men who have finally dragged the club out of this league and awoken the giant. The dark days are over, but for Wycombe Wanderers, it is misery at the home of football. Their dream is ripped away from them, but for Sunderland, they are standing tall on the greatest stadium in the planet.
But just spare a thought for Wycombe Wanderers. They gave it absolutely everything. They have had a tremendous season, but it's incredibly hard to take. For Akinfenwa, we're not going to see him playing football anymore. They have done extraordinarily well to get here, but you want to win a final. Sunderland needed to win this final, and they have worked incredibly hard. How they've been under Alex Neil is extraordinary. Defensively solid, attractive going forward. Alex Neil arriving at Sunderland is why they are now in the Championship.
Well, there are some wearing red and white who cannot believe it, and you can't blame them after all they've been through in playoffs past. But Alex Neil said, I'm fed up of hearing about negative stories. If you think negatively, you get negativity. And Alex Neil adamant that they could end their playoff curse and break free of it. Sunderland have done that. And the Championship is not good enough for Sunderland. They need to be back in the Premier League. But finally, they tell the football world that they're on their feet again and they're travelling in the right direction again.
Absolutely, and Alex Neil is absolutely right. It's not just hollow words. You know, the previous failures for Sunderland, that was history. That was another bunch of players. This is Alex Neil's Sunderland, and that's why they're in the Championship.
So Sunderland are back in the Championship. They've beaten Wycombe Wanderers by 2-0. Yes, thank you, Michelle. Well, Alex Neil, he's straight talking, is he? Which is one of the reasons why Sunderland turned to him. He's at the back of the queue there as the players make their way up the stairway to the stars, up to the Royal Box, as they prepare to make their way back up to the Championship. For so many times it has been playoff failure, as we mentioned, but this time it's a different story, penned by a different man in Alex Neil, who almost walked past his medal there. Get your medal, Alex. Another one to add to his playoff collection, following wins with Hamilton and at this very stadium with Norwich City. And a handshake there with Corey Evans, who's been so influential and instrumental under Alex Neil.
Yeah, success at Wembley is a footballing feeling like no other. But Sunderland aren't done yet. A club their size, with their support, the Premier League has to be their ultimate destination. They're a major step closer, and it's fully deserved.
Wonderwall ringing out around the stadium, the Wearside Wall away to our left. 46,000 Sunderland fans in attendance here. There'll be bedlam in the city of Sunderland in the northeast right now. That's the only place to be at Wembley with that trophy behind you. This is the Stadium of Dreams, and Sunderland's dream return to the Championship is gone. These are the men who will be spoken about for years as the men who brought the colossus of a club, which is Sunderland, alive again. Sunderland, this giant of English football, is on its way back. Football is the heartbeat of Sunderland. For the city of Sunderland, football is the obsession. Getting out of this league was an obsession. It is job done.